Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I am a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls. My hope for this podcast is to offer support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life. To share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello, my friends. I am so excited. This is another fun and special episode because I have invited a new friend to come on with me on the podcast. And her name is Nichole, and we are going to be talking about authentic self-care. It's going to be so much fun. This is a dear topic to my heart, and I'm so excited to have you all here joining us. Hi, Nichole. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody your name, and yeah.
So my name is Nichole Haugen. I live in North Dakota. I am a nurse. I've been married to my husband for, it'll be 15 years coming up here soon. We have 6 girls, and I am a life coach for Catholic nurses and Catholic women who work in healthcare. And I found life coaching so I could lose weight, and I did that. And then my parents had died the year before I kind of discovered life coaching. So they both passed away in 2019. And right after that, I found out there was much debt in my marriage that I didn't know about. So there was financial infidelity happening. And life coaching really got me through that. And through that, discovering self-care and really what that means for me, not just what the world tells us it should be, what we see other people doing. And so it's been a journey, like discovering that. And that's now what I help, especially nurses, healthcare workers do, because you can't take care of others unless you're taking care of yourself. And I tried for many, many years to do that. It was not working.
100%. I love that. And for those of you listening too, Nichole actually certified in the same program that I certified with. So our language is very similar. And I love that, your story, because it's so empowering, I think, to people when we have so many things happening in our lives all at once. And then we have to find a way to carry on and hold on and sort of keep it together, quote unquote, as we are going through those hardships. And our stories are kind of similar too, because it was with the weight loss. So we started with life coaching, but it affected every area of our life. And self-care is one of them. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
and
just, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just listening to somebody being coached on, yeah, like just the day in day out tasks like of being a mom. And then this person, like, she's trying to run her own business, and then some of her kids have special needs, and it's just like her answer to it was almost just like, well, yeah, but I should be doing more. I should take on more
Yes.
things. And I think that's just normal for most of us, is like, well, no, but like I should be doing this better, and this, like, I should just try harder and then it'll work. And so I think like we've that's become almost a norm in our society of like just do more, be more, but it's not obtainable, and it's certainly not like long lasting
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, 100%. And like for us, I think that was what we were talking about. It's like for each one of us, self-care is going to look different, but it's become a norm of like, well, but I have to do this thing. And if I take a bath, then I'll feel better. And if I add this thing to my routine, I'll feel better. And for me, it's I just had a moment yesterday. I'm just going to share with all of you in this moment because I just came back from vacation. And I don't think anyone talks about the crash that happens after you come back from vacation. Like you're in this high on vacation, it's beautiful, and you have these beautiful views, and you have food being cooked for you rather than you cooking it all the time. And then you come back into quote unquote the reality of your life, and you're like, I should be feeling better. I
Yeah.
should not be this tired. Right. And then like that's what happened like to me yesterday. I had a meltdown because I was like, why am I should not be this tired. I should be doing more. And yeah, like taking care of myself. And it turns out that all I needed yesterday to take care of myself looked like sleep because I'm
Yeah.
7 months pregnant and I have 2 kids and just came back from vacation. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And that's the thing is like we then think something's wrong with us because like, well, I should be happy, right? Like I should be relaxed. I just had this vacation. Or one of my favorite ones, like, is when you do travel with kids, it's hard, it's stressful, it's overwhelming. Like a lot of times, yeah, you're like you get meals cooked for you, like it is relaxing, but it's in a different way. And like we think like, well, like there's something wrong with me because like this should be fun. This should be a great family vacation. But the reality is when you have kids along, like they're still asking a million questions. They're tired. Their schedule is off. Like they don't
Yes.
want to eat this kind of food and do these things. Like, and we just think like, well, this will make us all happy and it's just gonna be beautiful and kumbaya, and we're just gonna be singing by a campfire. And it doesn't end up that way. And then we like make it mean something about us, so like we're failing even more. But that's
Yes.
just life.
It is. It's so funny too because in the very first night we got there, we had our flight because we had to fly to Florida. And then thank goodness, I can imagine like 27 hours of driving. That would have been insane. But we get there, it's 7 o'clock. We're all exhausted. We haven't eaten, but we're like, we're gonna go see the ocean. It's gonna be amazing. And then we had this vision of our girls seeing the ocean really for the very first time. And we're walking, and my 4 year old walks into the mirror, the back of the mirror of a car, like on her face, and we're all cranky and nothing's working. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? That's exactly the thought that popped in my head. There's something wrong with us that we can't do this thing. And
Yeah.
there is so much judgment that comes from the reality of life and how we should take care of ourselves and how what it looks like to take care of ourselves and what it looks like to live and to have a normal 50-50 life.
Yep. Yep.
We did loved it for the record. We loved the view of the ocean. My daughter cried. We were so happy, but it was very 50-50.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And I think that's just like the key step in just like helping people understand is like just have awareness that things aren't meant to be perfect. Like it's never
Yes.
going to be perfect this side of heaven. And so yeah, we want to strive for as much as we can and the things we can control, but like there's so many things outside of our control. Number one being children. So like
Yes.
we just can't. And it doesn't mean we're failing. It doesn't mean we're any less of a trying to be a saint. It just means that's life and it's gonna happen and it's okay.
Yes. I just had a priest said to me that the process of learning to be patient and the process of growing is just God's way to shape us into sainthood.
Mhm.
But us failing does not mean that we're not in the process of being saints. And
Yeah.
I love that. It made me think of that because it's just like, yes, we are in the process of being saints, but the meantime,
Yeah.
we are living this earthly life that is not perfect. Like it's
Right.
not gonna be perfect until we meet him.
Yeah.
But yes, and it's like, but taking care of the process, like of ourselves as we're going through this. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like, what is something that you do for self-care? And yeah, what have you encountered when it comes to different people, different styles, different routines? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for self-care to me is truly like loving yourself no matter what. And so loving your past self, loving your present self, and loving your future self.
Mm.
And so what does that look like for you? And like for me, okay, like in the past, I would be like, okay, self-love, I'm gonna indulge in this cake right now. Like, look, oh, I deserve this. Like, I've worked hard. And so I would eat that, but I would eat more than I would like felt comfortable. Like I physically would not feel comfortable afterwards. And it wasn't necessarily what I wanted. And then so it wasn't loving my future self also because yes, in that present moment, like, great, this is awesome. But I overindulged and then I felt miserable. And so it's
Mhm.
really like looking at that as like, okay, I love sweets like immensely. And so how can I still have that, but enjoy it in the moment and still enjoy myself afterwards and how I feel? And so just little things like that. And a big one for me is just something simple as setting up my coffee pot the night before, where I get it ready and like I do it can put in the automatic like start time where it's just like I can set that, but I don't necessarily get up the same time every day. And then I've run into where like it doesn't work or it goes off. And all of a sudden, like I'll wake up and like my coffee's already made because it got made at midnight because the power went out or
Oh
something. So
no.
I set it up and I just walk out, I push the button, go to the bathroom. By the time I come back, like my coffee's done. And so to me, like that is just, that's my self-care. That's every day. At the end of the day, I set up my coffee pot and it's something simple, but it's just me recognizing like, how can I make my life a little easier? How can I take care of myself? I also like I fill up my water jug the night before I go to bed. I put in ice and water. So it's one of those big like sturdy ones. So then in the morning when I get up and I exercise, like I have ice cold water. So I don't have to take that time in the morning to do that. It's also like if I know I'm going to exercise in the morning, I set out my clothes the night before. It's just those like very simple little things. And it can be even bigger things. Like I'm going to be traveling this weekend. I'm going on a girls' weekend, but I also know when I come back, I'm probably going to be tired and out of sorts. And so I took the next day off. Like I just blocked out my
Yes.
calendar and just those things, like to also see enough to like care for yourself in those future moments also.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, loving yourself ahead of time. Because it's
Mhm.
key. I kind of had the same background of I would eat the cake and then an ice cream because I worked really hard. And like my thing was like I would work out really, really hard and then be beat up and then not understand why I was so exhausted and why I was more hungry than normal. And then would eat like crazy. And then my thing was peanut butter. And it's
Mhm.
funny because I realized that when I started connecting with my future self, that was one of the things that came up was, does my future self love peanut butter to this degree?
Yeah.
And then I realized that no, she wasn't interested in peanut butter. And then when I mean, it's been 2 years since I lost the weight, but then it was like, now I can't even smell it. Every time I smell it on my kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, you smell like peanut butter. And it's funny because we change, but we're making those
Yeah.
decisions ahead of time on purpose in order to hold ourselves, not just in that particular moment, but a few minutes later, a few hours later, or a few days or months later. Like we're
Yeah.
caring for each version of ourselves.
Mhm.
And I think that's beautiful. That one of my favorite things for self-care is the coffee thing because I love coffee dearly. I think I might have told you that our routine, my husband does the coffee in the morning or during the week. So the Saturday morning routine, we fight over who gets up first to see who makes the coffee because it's such a beautiful slow moment. And I think that's the thing with self-care is like slowing ourselves enough to enjoy that little thing.
Mhm.
And some people call it romanticizing our lives, where we just like we're caring for our future selves now. It's like, okay, I'm gonna like set up, in your case, it's like set up the coffee and you enjoy that beauty that you're having in that moment. And another thing for me is like my prayer time in the morning, just enough like to have my coffee by the window in the front and sit and listen to prayers.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it's just like slowing down our life enough where we can do the things that we love, not the thing that people say that we need to do, but what we love. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I do think, like, the world says, well, as a woman, like, in order to have self-care, you should go get your nails done, you should go
Yeah.
shopping, and you should take a bubble bath. It's like, I mean, I don't mind getting my nails done, but like, I really don't like shopping. I have to be in a mood for it. A bubble bath
Yes.
sounds like way more work, like, than I want to deal with. I gotta, like, we have one, well, I guess we have two bathtubs, but like, you gotta move all the kids' toys and like all the things. So, like, that just doesn't sound like me. And then for many years, it was like, well, if I don't like those things, what do I like? And it even
Yes.
goes something as simple as like, if your husband, like if you go on a date, and my husband always be like, well, where do you want to eat? I don't know. I have no clue. Like, I don't even know what things I enjoy anymore because I was so burnt out on like taking care of everybody else, making sure their
Yes.
needs were met. It's like, wait, what do I love? And so, like we've started like just listing like different restaurants and then things that we would enjoy, like our favorite things again. Because and two, like you change, right? So like the things that I liked in my 20s, I don't
Yes.
like anymore. And that's okay. But
Yeah.
we kind of like, especially as moms, like we just kind of space out for a while and then we wake up again and it's like, oh my gosh, like who am I? What do I even like? Like
Yes.
I don't even know what to do. And then we just kind of like sit there. We don't, we just let
Yes.
everybody else's like passions or desires or interests and talents like be like, well, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe
Yeah.
that's who I'm meant to be. And it doesn't fit because that's not who God wanted us to be.
Right. And we're also different. But I do think that when we become moms, like this is my third, and there is a period of time where we do forget. Like we either we forget or we just ignore ourselves. And it's
Mhm.
like this is our sole purpose now is to be moms. But it's truly so sad because when I stepped into life coaching, I remember my first coach asking me if the example I was giving my girls was the example I wanted to give them on purpose. Like, do I want to show my girls me not caring, not stopping and not saying, hey, I need a minute. Go
Mhm.
in the other room. It's okay for you to be on your own. Mommy needs a minute. Like
Mhm.
right now, I created this setting where, like, in the very beginning of the day, we have breakfast together. If the girls are awake already and I haven't done my prayers, it's like we're having breakfast together. I get my coffee, and the girls know that that is mommy's prayer time.
Mhm.
And they step out into the other room and play with Legos for like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
It has become something that I want my girls to see. I want that to be an example that my girls see because for a long time I was in the same boat of I can't go for a walk and leave my girls alone. Like I would feel so guilty for that.
Mhm.
And I was trying to give them everything, but in the meantime I was giving them nothing because I was so burned out.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake that we make as moms too, and as women in general too. I want to just give, 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 but we don't receive. We're not
Yeah.
open to receiving ourselves, and it just burns us down.
Yeah. And I think especially like the women I work with when we work in healthcare, right? Like that is also your vocation as a mother, but
Hmm.
also your occupation as a nurse is like you're
Yeah.
just giving so much all the time. And that's what like burnout is so high because you just
Hmm.
you can't do it. You can't sustain it. It's just not possible. And God doesn't want us to either. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't he wants us to take care of us ourselves. He sees us how we see our little children. And if we could just see ourselves through his eyes of like if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not allowing yourself rest, you're not setting up your coffee the night before, you're saying, no, I don't have time for prayers because all my kids need me. Like
Hmm.
that hurts him too. He doesn't want
Yeah.
to see that either.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it's something that he taught us too. You have to love your neighbors as you love yourself. And
Yeah.
it's like we're not loving ourselves. We cannot
Yeah.
possibly love those around us. It just doesn't work.
Yep, exactly.
I think the other thing that I love is that it can look different, and that is more than okay. Because I'm in the
Hmm.
same boat. I do not like baths. I'm so sorry for those of you who are out there listening, and you're like, these women are nuts. I just but baths are not my thing for the same
No.
reason. I'm like, I rather like if it was a pool, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that's just does it doesn't it's not appealing to me, and that's okay.
Hmm.
And for me, it's like I love reading saint books, but at nighttime I have to read something that does not require me to think or
Hmm.
reread. It's just something fictional or something like that that just helps me to disconnect.
Hmm.
And like holy hours, like spend some time with God. That is the best self
Yeah.
care you can do.
Yes.
And yeah, and mass, whatever works for you. Like that's the thing that's key for us to remember. It's just
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be as one certain way and one specific way. And it has to work with your
Yeah.
family too, like what it is that
Right.
you want.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Because just like, I mean, everybody parents differently. It's just like what works for your family, what works for you. And again, self-care doesn't have to mean like, oh, like I'm taking all this time and I'm just gonna go to the bars and I'm just gonna like
Yeah.
that's not like again, I think like the world just gives us such a mixed message of what self-care is. But if we really look at ourselves and like, okay, like just for today, like what do I want and what do I need? And
Hmm.
just like everything else, like God, you just take care of it. I think like the beauty of it is just we can surrender that as well and just be like, I surrender this to you, God. Like, I need more time for self-care. And I think a big thing for me, like a lot of women, like we don't want to ask for help either. We
Hmm.
think that it also makes us look weak. And then we really struggle with that. And then we feel guilty because then we're asking for something, especially for ourselves. And it feels bad when we start doing it. It feels
Yes.
bad. It feels very guilt-ridden, almost shameful. But like if those again, those are just feelings. And so those can come and go. And if you just really kind of allow those feelings navigate through that, it will become where you really do feel filled up and your tank is full and you can start giving to more people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that like it goes so well with the um my coach calls it the law of giving and receiving, right? Like there is so much we can give. We have to allow ourselves to receive from both like family, friends, and God. Because that's another thing. Like I have a podcast coming out on the process of creating with God, right? We need to allow ourselves to receive from God. Otherwise, we don't see change. We're like, well, no, but I just want to do it on my own. This is kind of
Yeah.
that thing too. I should be superwoman and not
Mhm.
need help. And I'm not entirely sure where that came from because I haven't met a woman that doesn't have that thought unless they
Right?
have worked on it, you know? And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I don't quite know where that comes from, but it is so true. Like I have it so ingrained in my brain. I had a meltdown when I was 2 or 3 months pregnant. I was really, really sick. And I sat down in the staircase and I was laughing at myself after because I'm like, so many chairs in the house. And I decided to melt down in the staircase. And I'm like in the staircase crying. And I was telling my husband that I felt so bad that he was doing everything
Yeah.
because I'm not used to feeling so sick and not being able to do anything.
Mm.
And then, but in that moment, there were so many graces given by God to me to need help. He was
Mhm.
just like, okay, you know what? No, I'm going to give you this baby and you're going to have to slow down
Yeah.
to the point that you can't do anything but be on the couch and survive.
Mhm.
And my husband's reaction was a very loving reaction, which I think would be the reaction of most people around us that love us. We just don't allow it to ourselves to receive it. Was my love. I would do anything as long as I don't have to go through what you're going through.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
just like, but we forget. We just want to be super
Yeah.
women and just be like, no, I should be sick, throwing up, and doing dishes and cooking and all of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but when we allow ourselves to receive, there's so much growth that happens in taking care of ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of it is like I think the devil sees like how women are and how we want to do everything. And so
Yeah.
he just takes that little thought that we have and he just twists it to make it like our common core belief that like we should be able to do everything. We have to be superwoman. And which is not true because the beauty like being a woman really means you are receiving. Like you're
Hmm.
receiving life. You're receiving like
Yeah.
you are the receiver. And so like that is the beauty of being a woman and allowing that and somewhere along the line like in humanity and in our fallen world like that got severed that connection with God of receiving that got severed and broken and now we just want to do everything and be everything
Yeah.
and it's not possible and like and that's okay because
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that because it's like that is probably where it comes from is that lie from the devil that gets sneaked into the truth of like
Yeah.
we were created to carry these babies and raise these babies and you know support our husbands and our families and that was our core thing, right?
Yeah.
But he twists it into like yes, and you should be able to do it all at once and
Yeah.
then some. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And too, like, how society is now, like it never used to be that way. You
Yeah.
used to have a group of women, like your pod or your tribe of
Hmm.
women that you all worked
Hmm.
together. You all
Yeah.
had the kids, you all did the washing of the clothes together. Like you really had community. And we don't have that anymore, but we still have those beliefs that that's how it should be done. We should have to do
Yes.
everything. And so, yeah, it's just I think one, like recognizing that like that's not really what we were meant for. We were meant for community and for help and for receiving.
Mhm.
And then to allow that help. And what does that help look like? Like when you do ask your husband, "Hey, I need help. I need you to support me. I can't do everything myself." Like, and he's just like, "Great. What do you want help with?"
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know. Like we either have a whole tangent or we're like, I don't know. I just need help, right? So like I think just becoming more clear with ourselves of like
Yes.
what does help look like for me? For me, I know myself like I'm not going to vocalize like I need an hour on Saturday to like just have for myself. I'm not going to vote like but now like that I recognize that now I can vocalize that because I actually know
Yes.
what I need. Like it doesn't mean I need you guys to like go for 6 hours And I need to like, no, I just need like 30 minutes to an hour. I just want to plan out the week. I just want to regroup. I want to drink my coffee. Like I just want that. I want you to like shield the questions from all the children for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Like I just need little snippets,
Yes.
little things like that. And like once we're able to acknowledge ourselves and know ourselves, we then can like get help from others on
Hmm.
how to help them help care for us.
Yes. And it makes us much better moms too. Like that was my experience. I am much more or less cranky if I
Yeah.
have a minute. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have to be 6 hours. I just
Yes.
need a minute.
Yeah.
And like I think our husbands do catch up because now it's like my husband's like, Mommy needs a minute.
Yes.
Let's go. So,
Yeah.
and I do it for him too. Like that is, it's a back and forth thing, right? Like I know when he needs something, I know he knows when I need something. But in
Yeah.
order for them to learn, we need to learn to vocalize it.
Yes.
It's just how
Yes.
it works. Like I think that's another mistake that I see happen so many times where it was just like, he just doesn't, why can't he just catch up? They can't. It's just
Right.
not, it's not humanly possible to catch up to someone else's thoughts and emotions.
No,
You have
no.
to learn to vocalize it. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very
Yes.
powerful, very
Yeah.
freeing too. I was
Yes.
going to ask you, what is your thought? Because one of my versions of self care, very important part of self care, is coaching.
Hmm.
And I was just like, I was curious, like for you, how has that affected your life?
Like, what do you mean? Like for me,
Like
like,
getting coached and getting supported in that area and support, and like for us as well, like we're the ones supporting other women, but we
mhm.
also need that support. And I think
Oh
that
yeah.
like how has that affected your life as a coach and as a human having life coaching in your life?
Yeah. I mean, it's affected everything. Like my marriage. I mean, I don't think we would be married still if it wasn't for
Yeah.
coaching. Like I about 100% can say like
Yeah.
we would not be married. And so with that, I mean, like it helps me just like I said, in day-to-day things, like recognizing little ways I can help myself. It helps me be a better mom. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I still snap at my kids, I still yell at
Of
them
course, we're human.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, you're still human, but like it's so much less. I'm able to be more present with them
Mhm.
when we are doing something. I recognize, like, again, it doesn't have to be a 6 hour event and be magical. It can be a 20-minute board game. And like that's being present with them. It
Mhm.
just and even like just the to-do list and just like the day-to-day things like when I it helps me recognize more like my when my feelings start to come up of like overwhelm, panic, like stress. I just like I can recognize that and I can see that and be like, okay, like something like I'm having a stressed response to something right now, like
Yeah.
what is it? And just okay, like you're safe, you're loved, like everything that needs to get done today will get done.
Mhm.
And then I like to check in with myself too and ask myself when was the last time I had food or water.
Yeah.
Like, just basic needs, like being a mom and wife and all the things. Like food and water are important. And then just okay, like what absolutely needs to get done today. And the
Yeah.
rest just is okay.
Yeah, it falls into place. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think because that's another part. I think for me, the reason why life coaching is such a big self care part of my life is because I think for so long I avoided my emotions. Like it
Hmm.
was just like society has created this idea that we should just have it together. It's like, why
Hmm.
can't you just figure it out on your own? I just heard from a friend, and she's gonna be in the podcast later, but she said something along the lines of like, self care is the only place where we do not seek help that has to do with our health. It's like if we have a headache that has been there for weeks or months, we're gonna go to the specialist and get help
Yeah.
for that. But
Yeah.
for some reason, mental health, anxiety, fears, doubts, just thoughts that we are having and emotions, we don't seek help. The thought
Yeah.
is you should be able to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's been so helpful to add that as part of my self care
Yeah.
in having someone walking along my me and
Hmm.
helping me understand my thoughts and emotions because like you said with your marriage so many things can fall apart just because of our thoughts
Yeah. Yeah.
and we have so much authority and so much power given to us by God in our minds and it's just like that should be part of everybody's self-care, is to have some safe space where they can come in and get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to just like normalize it as well,
Yes.
because it is it's crazy. Like when you're going through these things, you're just like, nobody else is going through this.
Yeah.
Nobody else thinks this way. Like this is just me. I'm a failure. Like I'm the issue. But then when you like you're like, oh, this is a safe place. Like this is a place where like there's no judgment. I can bring whatever I need to my coach. And you realize how normal it is and how every other person also has thoughts and feelings that
Hmm.
they're going through and dealing with and maybe struggling through. Like it brings such immense relief that like I'm not alone.
Yeah. And you're so loved. That's the other thing. It's like, no matter your thoughts or emotions, you are so loved. And it's such a sacred space.
Yeah.
And it's always so funny because after my coaching sessions, when I'm getting coached, I tend to call my sister and then I'm like, I think God was talking to my coach. Because like the same thing that came up in my holy hours was what just came up in the session. And it is amazing because it's like God is with us all the time and he's giving us those people. And this goes with everything, your coach, your husband, your friends, your family that he's given you to support you and yourself too. It's just like this is how we take care of ourselves, is to acknowledge that we need that help and allowing ourselves to receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
I can like seriously talk to you for always because it's just so much fun and we laugh too much. You guys were not here previous to the recording and it was a little crazy. Anyhow, it was a lot of fun. It's been so fun. But I wanted to ask you, like, for a piece of advice, if you had to give somebody, these people, my people, um, a piece of advice, what would you say?
Hire a life coach. I mean, that is my no I always am like, everybody needs a life coach. Hire a life coach. And
Yes.
just it's not as big of a deal as people think it is, I think.
Yeah.
It's very simple, it's easy. Like, shop around, find one that works for you.
Hmm.
But it's just such a blessing to have a space where you can come and you can just be your authentic self and just sail the things that are on your mind and your heart and
Yeah.
vocalize it, right? Because like we can do that in prayer also.
Yeah.
Um, but there's something about vocalizing it to another human, which is why I think that the church gave us confession in its
Hmm.
beauty and wisdom. But there's just something about that to like work through things as you talk it out. And
Yeah.
and a lot of times, like, our friends mean well, our husbands mean well, coworkers mean well, but it's not like a neutral space. It's
Yeah.
people are like they give advice or they want to support you, but they don't really know how.
Yeah.
And this is just really a nice, neutral, safe space to walk through those things.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that, and also, I mean, I'm big on adoration. I love adoration. I
Yes.
said, like, book yourself a holy hour. It feels like a ridiculous amount of time, but once you get in it, it goes so fast and it's
Yeah.
so amazing. It's so peaceful and wonderful.
Yes. And the more you do it, the more you want it. It's like
Yes.
that's been my experience. It's like
Oh,
the more I'm in there, I'm like, I just want to go with Jesus.
yeah.
I told my daughters, by the way, I love your advice because yes, that is my thing too. Because it's like, yes,
Yeah.
it's a safe space where you can download everything, no judgment, a lot of love, a lot of support, no opinions. That's what I love about life coaching. Like your
Yeah.
coach will not have an opinion. They're just holding
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
But yes, no, but holy hour is life changing because I used to not do it. And
Mm.
then I heard that if you don't have time for a holy hour, you should do two.
Yeah.
And I
I've
was
done that
like,
too. Yeah.
oh, I should go do a holy hour. But
Yeah.
it's my daughters say that when I have my holy hours, because I used to have it weekly and then I had to quit the exact same time because it couldn't work. So now I sub. And every time I sub, I'm like, girls, I'm leaving. Mommy's going on a date. And then the other one turns and they're like, Mommy's going on a date with Jesus today. And I love that because it's true. It's like it's my favorite hour of the
Yeah.
week. It's the
Yeah.
best. But
Yeah, it
yes, I
is.
love that advice.
Yeah.
And then my other question is, do you have a favorite quote or prayer or saint that you want to share?
Oh gosh, so many. Ooh. Um, One of my favorite prayers is the surrender novena. That one
Hmm.
I've done quite a few times. Sometimes I'll just kind of do it back to back to back.
Yep. Same.
I love that one. I love the Divine Mercy Chaplet. I love that one. When my mom died, that was a a big one that I would even just the Jesus, I trust in you, like
Yeah.
just like really helps.
Everyone.
Saints, yeah, so many saints. Oh my gosh. I love Saint Zelie Martin. Like she was a businesswoman, she was a homemaker. Saint Therese of Lisieux's mother.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
That's
and
my
she has five girls that were in the convent. So I'm just like, yeah,
She's
her,
your saint. I love it.
yeah.
That is very
Like,
fitting.
yeah, she's a good one. She's a big one. The Mother Teresa.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. See, I love asking those questions because I have my saints that I'm always praying to, but then you guys just add new saints in my life, and I'm like, oh, I've never heard of that saint. I love it.
Yeah.
Tell us how people can find you, where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me catholicnursecoach.com is my website, and then I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Catholic Nurse Coach.
Love it. Join her. Go check her out. She's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to be part of this community. If you are enjoying these episodes, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that you are notified the next time the episodes come out. Also, right now, I have some spots open to work with me one-on-one. This program will change your life. I 100% believe that without God, we can't. But without us, God won't. I will help you step into your power. I will help you take the actions that you need to take in order for you to create the most fulfilling and aligned life. A life that feels aligned with you and with God. And that life is available to you right now. Check the link in the description to reserve a time to chat with me. I will see you then.